conversations at Satoshi Club. We have as our guest today Andy Lian and my fellow co-founder and co-host of Satoshi Club, Dumitru. Hi, everyone.
Hey guys,
Hi.
how is your bloodbath today?
It's red. I have a special shirt for it.
It's just going to go down further,
Did you
man.
expect it coming or
What do you think, Andy?
forever?
I think, to be honest, I didn't expect it to go down that much,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's okay. Life goes on, bro. We just got to fight harder, man. It's not easy right now, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. We just need to find the tools to fight harder, right?
Need to find the money
Not
to
with our
fight
bare
harder, man.
hands.
Only the money, bro. Only the money.
Yeah, we're fighting against billions and billionaires. It's our game. It's their game. We're just playing on their rules.
Yeah. This time round,
So
uh,
yeah. By the way,
sure, you go ahead, bro. I think it's a bit laggy. I'm not sure is
can
it
you hear us?
me or I can hear you definitely.
Dumitru,
Yeah, it's a
finish your
bit
thought?
laggy. So um, about fighting harder. What do you think? Like right now, people in crypto should do to fight harder? What should they look for? What should they do better? I don't know. What should they focus on? Like I know,
I
like it's a bloodbath. We've seen them like hundreds over the years, but you know, there were no alt season basically the cycle, so a lot of people feel frustrated. So what should they actually do to
I
manage this?
I I would say in a more optimistic manner. Number one, I still think that there will be a exit altcoin season, and maybe even and maybe even led by a meme season, but that should be probably next year Q1. So if right now this is at the almost bottom, and if Trump or any other uh, uh, good news were to come up, I think the pump will be very gradual, all the way to Q1, where you can see QE and so forth. Uh, and then when that hits Q1, I think you might see a meme season or a larger altcoin season, because they need to accumulate enough money,
Mm-hmm.
from this current run in order for them to see the altcoin season. So I still think that it will come, but it will come in a very different manner. It will be a little bit shorter than before. The runway could be probably about 1 month or three weeks, and then that will just end everything, in that instant, right? It will just be a good pump, and then it will just come down, and then you'll just go sideways for a long time. So um, what should people do right now? I think that is a very tough question, but I have actually summarized this on my X this morning. So number one, there's no need to be really desperate right now. There's no need to buy the old coins, right? You don't need to buy the new coins, to be very honest, because they are not going to survive, for the next month. The blue chips, there's also no need to be buying right now. Wait for the market signal to come, then you start to buy, right? If the market is very clearly going back on an upward trend, you can start to buy from that curve onwards. Right now it's just too risky, man. My next post that I'm going to post on X is how things can go down 90% again and another 90% again. The reason why this is happening is also because this time around many of these are driven by institutions, right? And a lot of these are driven by the ETFs and so forth. So right now the confidence level is quite low, you know. So as a project, you should try to keep as much dry powder as possible. so that you could survive. As a retail investor, I would suggest looking for that upward charts. Then you start to come in, and if you are a new project, I think you should also wait for the chart, the green candle to come in, then you launch. If not, your current pump or your current marketing efforts will be like hell, man. Trust me, it's going to be really bad. But of course, if right now you have a lot of money, for projects especially, you have a lot of money, right now is actually the best time and the cheapest time for you to do marketing, right? Because right now there's no noise at all, man. Right. So if you dare to do it, if you dare to put all your funds in, then perhaps that particular project or that particular meme coin could be the best runner this time around. So now it's about how big your balls are, man. I know that there are people who are trying to do this, but
Yeah.
their courage level is a bit small. It got strong, bro, got strong. So I know that they want to do it, but I think in their piggy bank maybe they have about 50 to 60 mil, just for their launch. But in my opinion, it's not enough to be the next runner, man. You need to have at least 100 mil in your piggy bank, willing to spend and willing to make that noise. And if they are willing to do that this time
Millions
round,
of what?
US dollars, bro, US dollars.
To launch a project, you need $100 million.
If you are aiming for it to become, for example, if you are a meme coin, if you are aiming to become the next Pepe or the next sheep, you need that money, man. But if you are just going to launch a normal meme coin, you don't need money, man. Now there are more launch pads than users, man, bro. So
Yeah.
there's no need to have money,
Yeah. Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself. We jumped right into it, and we didn't get a chance to know
Sure.
more about you.
I'm just a book author, but I started my journey very early. 2012, 2013, I used to run an agency, marketing agency. We do things for some of a very big brand in China, right? So that was the time where I was interacting with people online and buying Bitcoin, because during that time we need to create a lot of accounts, you know, that kind of guerrilla marketing. We need to create a lot of these accounts. So we transacted and bought some of these more like verified with phone number account, using some of these marketplace. That's where I first got into Bitcoin.
So you
That
needed
was
Bitcoin for the transaction there.
Yes, because
Okay.
they transact everything using Bitcoin, so there's no choice but to get in. So that was the very 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 beginning. Then after which I'm always in the investment place, in the government sector and so forth. 2017 was the turning point, right? I sold away some of my business. I was into medical. I sold away the business. I go all the way in for Bitcoin, for blockchain. That was 2018, right? And then at the same time, back then I also started a project, right? That was the first and only project that I've started with my friends. We are able to receive a lot of good ICO money, but if you Google my name and ICO, I've always said no to ICO. And that is actually a very big problem, because my friends and a few others, we have some money, right? So we didn't really want to use that kind of ICO money to push. And back then is actually very gray, how the funding comes and so forth.
Yes.
So it was a proper project, but at the end we couldn't run it anymore. I also stepped down. I started to give advice to different government, and also different enterprises, large enterprises like Hyundai, the car brand.
Yeah.
Is it, yeah, or Hyundai,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that's how other pronounce this. And then I also help government, in South Korea, right now in Mongolia, in terms of how they should look at the technology, how they should look at cryptocurrency differently. That it was a crazy time, man. When I first started to give advice to different government,
What
they
what
think
do
that
you what do you tell a government official who can barely use his computer and Excel about blockchain? How do you explain to them, and what do you bring
oh,
forward?
okay, so a bit of a history. Most times the government will look at me as oh shit, there's a new scammer from Asia coming in. I go to European countries, they say shit, man, there's new scammer, right? But the thing is this is actually a very strange process. So in the beginning, they will see you like a scammer. Right now, they see you like a demigod, man. But how to explain blockchain to them is actually not so straightforward, because they see this as a technology that they can use, in the banking space, in the medical space, in the supply chain space. But I never explained to them about cryptocurrency, right? So if
Mm,
I talk to them right in the beginning about blockchain technology, they are all they are skeptical, but they are open, because I'm not selling anything to them. In fact, in some of the countries, the banking sector was the one who is trying to push this, right? So I get into a very easy, super easy task, just to talk to them, tell them about how this is being used in the bank, and then the banking guys are very diligent. They will come by and then tell the government these are some of the use cases that they can do, right? So it's really easy in terms of explaining, but it's actually very hard for the government to buy into the story, right? And some of the government, in are not very they're not very rich. So most times the way that I make them buy in is to work through the banks, right? The banks got to buy into the technology, pilot trial the whole process, so that the government will come in and provide additional support in terms of regulations, or in terms of partnership support. So that is usually the angle that I took back
mhm.
then when I talked to the governments, man, about blockchain, right?
Okay. So 2017, 18, your project, governments, what's next?
Wow, I then go full time into investment.
Mm,
So I so back then I already have an investment company. Right now I don't have it because I decided to step down. It's very boring to do the same thing over a decade, you know, and it's really boring. Trust me. It's very you'll be very happy to receive that 2% fund management fee and some performance fee, but at the end of the day, it's almost the same. So I stepped down, but from 2018, 19, 20, I go full time into investment. So we
mhm,
invested in a lot of different projects from the fund level and also from my individual level. So we buy into leading projects back then. Of course, all the way from Ethereum, all to Polygon, you know, all the way to the current, plasma and so forth. We have been actively investing, and and we realize a magic formula is we are not greedy. We go with a reasonable amount of capital, usually uh, between 100,000 to about 300,000. And we see that is actually the best sweet spot that allow us to get the best performance. So we kept doing this, with our fund, and I think it was fun, until I got bored, man. That was how it is. I was also part of a Bybit. I was their partnership lead. So a lot of this Red Bull, back then, that was led by my team. We managed Red Bull, we managed the soccer clubs, we managed some esports team and so forth. I was with them all in all, one year plus,
mhm.
and then I came back, to look at investment, because working in an organization is actually not easy, and at the same time, is one of the top exchange, right? So you have to deal with a lot of different things. So by the time my contract ends, I say goodbye, and I left. Until now, everybody is they are all good friends. There's no bad blood. We just carry on our journey in the crypto space. So yeah, that's how it is, man. I think in a very short way, a summarized manner, this is who I am. And of course, I write books. I do a lot of different talks, with governments, with the banks, with different kinds of counsel who are dealing with blockchain and cryptocurrency matters. So this is why I am, man, bro.
You do a lot of stuff.
You mentioned like how, yeah, a lot of, and like different areas, from partnerships with Red Bull to talking to Mongolian government. It's like, yeah, very different stuff, but very similar at the same time. Um,
It's quite different
yeah, you mentioned
because
talking to governments. It's easy
mm,
in some way, but how is it talking to Red Bull or to soccer clubs, or we just don't care? We just need the money, and they say yes.
no, it's not easy to deal with all these people because like Red Bull, for example, they are a big brand, right? If you ask a big brand to be pro crypto, it's also not easy. So that process, or took a long time for them to understand how crypto works, how the contracts should look like, and the worst part for that is because they are a big brand, we need to negotiate really hard with them so that we can get the right kind of benefits, right? For example, we want to convert their users into the exchange. It's not easy, man. The conversion rate is fairly low, in my opinion, right? Whether it's with the soccer club or whether it's with the F1 team, the conversion is not that great. But I dare say one thing is that after after that journey with Red Bull, and when Bybit uh, uh, ends the contract with them, their journey with the next exchange right now is a lot smoother because now the Red Bull team understand how the ins and out of of a crypto exchange, what they can do, what they can't do, where are the red tapes. Right now they are a lot smoother, man, based on what I understand. So I think this is a process of getting big brands to understand how we function, and I think that process usually will take quite a long time, man. Maybe 1 to 2 years at least for them to understand what exactly they can do, they cannot do, what will affect their reputation. How would certain campaign work better for the exchanges and not for the brand. So this is a really interesting journey, at least for me, because when I went to Bybit, I was actually my on my contract, I'm actually advisor to government relations, right? And then when part of the work is done, I then transited into managing the partners, and to me, I think it's an easy role, but it's also not an easy role because dealing with a non crypto natives and talking about brands and partnership back then is just like chicken and duck trying to talk to each other.
tell
Sometimes
us
the
tell
message.
us the craziest story that you've had.
I Okay. The thing is this. Yeah, I I think that some of the rate tapes that I see that is not really that rate is how they promote cryptocurrency, right? How they how what is the best way to promote? So sometimes to us as a crypto native, the best way to promote is just say something in the face. Use my exchange, right? These are the benefits they can get from the exchange, right? It's a very straightforward advertorial, right, or advertisement. But to the brands and to the individual drivers, these are some things that they can't do, man, because they might have
Mm-hmm.
existing contracts with a finance company or with a payment company. A lot of these things they can't say it. So to me, it's just crazy, man. If you pay 150 million for 3 years, why didn't all these small lines of clauses, what you can do and what you can't do, why can't they spell it out right in the beginning? You get what I mean? So that's something to me is crazy, because you spend the money, but you become like a second class citizen. You keep very afraid of doing a few things here and there. That was how it is. But again, I want to say this. Right now for Red Bull, the way they dealt with the new sponsors and so forth in crypto is a lot easier, because they have gone through the shit, really shit with us, and after that they know the ins and out of the business. Now I think they are a lot better, man.
Was you there when FTX collapsed? Because FTX was sponsor of Mercedes-Benz in Formula One as well. And when they
Yeah.
collapsed, as the biggest sponsor of Mercedes, probably didn't Red Bull was afraid? They're talking to you, hey guys, what's
Yeah.
FTX doing? Are you
Oh,
okay? Buy bit there.
uh, okay. So when they signed the contract, I wasn't there. But based on what I understand, because I have friends that are running the sponsorship for everybody. Like they are like a really big agency. So based on what I understand is they are afraid, man. Red Bull is afraid. That's why in some of the clauses that they have made, based on what I see on the contract, they are very strict. Also
Mm-hmm.
thanks to the bloody FTX collapse, the kind of confidence level dropped so
Yeah,
badly.
yeah.
So yes, I agree with you, but that was also the main thing why they are very careful, you know, and 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 life goes on, man. After they receive the money, of course, we have to follow the terms and condition that they have given, but that's how it is, man, in any of the sponsorship.
Yeah,
And
I think it's not something related to crypto in particular, but to new stuff, but they don't know how it will relate to their brand. So I think it's like that with not only with crypto, with
they're just
I don't know.
suspicious.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're just
suspicious.
worried. I think they're
Worried.
more
Yes.
Fair
worried,
enough.
because their
Yeah.
their brand is worth a lot, and they do not want to be associated with
Hmm.
another
With
scam.
scandals. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
makes
like a
sense.
big crypto influencer being paid by a shit meme coin for promotion, and
Yeah.
the
So
influencer is thinking to take their money or not.
so many of them, and I always tell my friends, you need to choose the right influencer, right? And how do you choose it is you check whether the influencer is walking the talk, right? Some of them, they will say that, oh, you retail guys right now, you buy meme coins and you change your portfolio and sell every day. One day you buy 7 portfolio, you have no loyalty and so forth. But then if you check the influencers account, they are promoting like 20 meme coins, in a day, right? And then keep changing too. So you have to see whether they are walking the talk or not. That's number one. Number two is where is the main source of revenue for the influencer, right? If the influencer collects money to make a post, okay, so you understand that, okay, that is a way that they earn their money, or they buy their own bags, right? There are many different ways, or they are just here to do like an advertorial, for your advertisement for you. So
Hmm.
if you understand where they receive the most money and what is their main revenue driver, then you will decide, whether to use them right now, or use them later, or use them when you have a bigger campaign, right? But most projects, they don't, man. They just find whoever that is coming to them, or whoever they think that is good.
Hmm.
Most times the results are bad, man. Trust me, because they couldn't identify what is a good influencer, what is a bad one. They couldn't identify where their main revenue driver is really coming from, what is their main expertise. Can they really call his followers to buy that much of a volume, or maybe can they actually help you to gain that much attention, right? So a lot of these things are not properly gauged, in the
Yeah,
space,
I think
you know.
there's an interesting stuff here because you were saying like that the conversions are quite low in F1, and I was thinking like doing this analogy with influencer and Cole's world in crypto as well. And the honest answer, I think, is that people don't say a lot is that no no influencer or person can really control their community. It's not like they can tell and the community does. That's why it's called influence. If the market conditions are bad, a good influencer can say whatever. No one will believe him because it's just the state of the market that is more important than the opinion and the information that they give. So I
Or
think
they will
here,
believe you once, maybe twice,
of course,
but
of course,
not
of
again.
course, of course, yes, yes, and
I
here I think it's also important to acknowledge and to understand that yeah, you give information mostly. You can't guarantee that community will buy because they make up their mind for the most part.
I that okay. So this is something that I want to chip in.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
okay. First of all, I'm not an influencer, but I use a lot of their service, from time to time, from the portfolio companies. So my very honest thing is this, yeah. So number one, you need to understand which stage are you at for your project,
Mm.
right? Are you trying to gain attention, right, or are you trying to gain some of these buys, right?
Mhm.
Gain volume, right? And what other campaigns are going together with your marketing activities, and how your market making is programmed to accommodate to some of these activities that you have, right? So it sounded easy, but it's actually not that easy when you manage this on the ground. So I give you a very good example. So you mentioned about uh, influencers will call for a certain token, and the people will not buy because they
Mhm.
have their own thinking. No, no, no. So choose the right if you choose the right influencer, cult like influencer, right? And the influencer has been giving out different signals, doing a lot of this copy trading, you know, or some of them they are in a subscribe group, where they have to pay like
Mhm.
$100, or even some of them is up to $1,000 a month. Those are different. So because they pay,
Yeah.
all of these guys will follow the signal that the influencer give, right? Say I give you an example. Some of them they will say that, oh, now at this point, if you are on perps, let's do a 10x right now, and then everybody will just go in, and the bigger groups they can get in huge volume from as low as a few hundred thousand to tens of thousands, tens of millions of dollars. Okay, so if
Mhm.
you get the right groups, you will get the right kind of buy-in for your project, right? This would usually be accompanied with your market makers to fill up the order books, and your marketing campaign maybe coming up to your show, to talk about the project, so forth and so on, or maybe an X campaign where they try to get more eyeballs and so forth. So there are influencers who can actually do that, right? And there are influencers who can drive the volume. So now is how much budget do you have to get these influencers, and when do you want to use these influencers? Because if you use them in the very beginning, you will see a very nasty upward curve when you are in the very beginning, and then it will go all the way down. So it should be in small bursts of fire, to test
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
group, so that you can reach an optimum outcome for your project, right? Not just show hand one time, and then you pray to God, and then everything will come smoothly. It doesn't work this way. It should be in periods of days, or in periods of weeks, depending on how you want to draw your chart, and what kind of resources you have, right? So Yeah, that is the small input that I want to
Yeah, yeah,
share,
it's
man.
cool, and I think it's really interesting, the conversation and the topic, because a lot of people don't take into consideration the complexity that you mentioned, and it's not just only one thing, but it's a mixture of things, and it depends on what stage are you in. But I just want to ask you this. I'm sure a lot of the people that watch us would find this interesting. What is the perfect roadmap as you see it for a project to launch? What should they do in the beginning, then they launch, and then whatever? How do you see this whole process?
Uh, Honestly, there is no like standard process,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
So let's come up with an example, okay? So just now we talk about meme coins and so forth. Let's talk about a VC coin, right? Is the coin is actually backed by a VC, right?
Hmm.
So usually in current times, right? In current times, where retail is all time low, VC coin, uh, if they have the connection, they will actually start their journey, uh, or start the listing process right from Binance Alpha, right?
Hmm.
So if let's say this is the journey, like let's say they go for Binance Alpha, they will be listed on Binance Perps, right? So a typical uh, a roadmap is, first of all, get as much investors as possible, big names, from Web3 native crypto VCs to the Web2 VCs, accumulate enough money, right? And usually what they do is that they control most of the supply, right? So for such VC coins, they will use a lot of KOLs right in the beginning. They will be
Hmm.
doing an airdrop. They will be doing a fair bit of a marketing campaign right in the beginning, and then right at the time when they list on Binance Alpha, they will do a big airdrop together with Binance, right? Then from there, of course, people will start selling, and the VCs usually, if it's a good VC backed project, usually they will try to maintain the price at a good level, right? So that it doesn't plunge all the way. And in today's market, for some of the projects that I know that will launch soon, I think they will use this strategy, but they will go sideways for a long time,
Hmm.
because right now they know that if they start to pump, yes, everybody will start to look at them. The cost of marketing is also lower, but they also know that no other retail guys is going to come and play with them, right?
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
will go sideways until the market, maybe get a nice bounce. They will start to put in the more aggressive campaigns with the KOLs who have buying power. So whatever KOLs that they have used before this period are just for awareness and for attention, right? Once you see the market turning green, you know, you see the bounce coming back, they will use the guys with buying power to come in. Why do they do that? Is because that is actually the time where the market has more confidence, and they
Hmm.
will enjoy the whole pump together with the project, right? And hopefully, you know, people pick up the project and they can do well, right? So typically, I think for VC project right now, this is like the standard formula that they will
Hmm.
use. Yeah,
So retail, you mentioned a couple of times. Where is it?
yeah, all that, man, all that, all
I
that.
mean, we
The
haven't seen like proper retail numbers and social media activity since 2021, 2022. I mean,
I
where is it? We had like a couple of tries and like testing
okay. So most
market.
of them, I think let's go back a little bit more. So I think Solana actually brought in quite a fair bit of retail from US. Okay,
Hmm.
be it there's earlier this year. I think there's also a smaller BNB season. I think some of the retail guys from Asia came in again. A few weeks ago, before the big crash, there was actually quite a fair bit of retail on the BNB and base as well, right? So
Hmm.
if you ask me, yes, most of them are dead, man, because they are very jaded when they look at the market. right? But again, we should not say this too early, because I have always been saying that the meme coins are actually the gateway for the retail to come in, right?
Mm.
As long as we hit the right timing, with the right momentum, I think they will come back because of the meme coins, and they will
Mm.
not buy the blue chip anymore. Trust me,
Tell
because
us,
the,
tell us
the
more about that. That's quite unusual. This opinion that meme coins have a gateway for the retail. Usually, it's considered the other way around. Tell us more about your idea there.
okay. So to be honest, let's debunk this first. So number one, why is why some people would say that meme coins are lousy, because it's very volatile, right? And then why they say that utility coins are good is because they can last longer. But most of these utility coins, they do not have a community, right? Do we agree on that?
Well,
Yes, yes, no?
the
Except
big,
the big
yeah,
ones.
yeah, the big ones have communities.
No, man, bro. The big one
No,
also don't have community. I don't want to mention the chains. I don't want to mention the chains and so forth. There,
give us an
some of them.
example. What do you
Ah,
mean? Like
okay.
a
Okay. So some of these top 20 blockchain, right? You will feel that, oh, they are in the top 20. They have a lot of retail users and people building on it. But if you look at the statistics properly, they have big TVL, but
Mhm.
low user volume. We don't talk about transaction. Yeah? We talk about user. Really
Mhm.
user. Participating in the project on X, or number of wallets that are interacting. You know, the volume is low. You know, only the main, the only, for example, Ethereum, right? Solana, BNB, they have volume. The rest
Mhm.
of those, they are not called volume, man. They are just small fraction of people that are on it, and there's no retail. To me, that's no retail, right? If you want to represent retail, you need to be a chain that everybody recognize, and a chain with proper TVL, right? So most of these chain that we talk about in the top 20, they have TVL, sizable TVL, but they don't have user. This is something that all of us know. But if you compare to Ethereum, for example, they have super big TVL. They also have people building on the ZK, on the layer two, and so forth. That's why they have a proper base of users. But then if you look at, I don't want to name others, man. If you look at BNB, they also well supported by the exchange. The ecosystem is also more established. They are willing to incubate more projects. That's why the retail are also willing to play with them. Same with Solana, because Solana had its run, and a lot of these guys are still on Solana because they enjoy the benefits that Solana has given them, right? So these three chain, no problem at all. And 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 why I say this is that if today you are a utility project, whether you are like a private C swap, or maybe you are like an NFT marketplace, for example, most of them, they don't have any users, because there is no hype to it. What's so sexy about this? It's very hard to understand their revenue model. Some of their revenue model are also not transparent, right? Even for a DEX, like a perps DEX, it's not very transparent. There are people who are asking about the dark pool. Are they really encrypted? Can the DEX actually see all the transaction and front run you all these things, because it's not very transparent, right? So coming back to the thing is, why I say meme coins are the best for retail is because all they need to do is to see the meme. If they like it, they can relate to it. There's an IP to it. They will buy. There's no need to think about, oh, what utility do they have? What business model is it? No, it's a very simple process. Community first for the meme coins. Once you have the community, you can then start to have your swaps. You can start to, work on other peer-to-peer trading platforms and so forth. Because if you have a community, you can do anything. So that is the reason why I felt that meme coins are still the community driver, and it's still going to be the main driver for retail to come in, because it's the easiest to understand, and it's also the easiest that, and the more and the more possible outcome for them to get a 10x or even a 100x, right? You can't do that, man. If you come in with Ethereum, for example, you expect it to be 100x or 10x is very difficult, because the bus is too heavy for this to happen, right? And is
That's
it
why they
really
use
that?
leverage.
Of course, but then that is also the dying part, right? Once
Yeah.
you go in for perps, you start to gamble 100x, for example, a small movement in the chart, you will be liquidated, right? So all these people, before we talk about perps and derivatives and so forth, just purely on spot trading, I felt that meme coins for the amount of money you put in and the risk that you take is a lot smaller than buying big amount of BTC or big amount of Ethereum, hoping to get a 5%, right? So it depends on the mindset, right? So if today
Mhm.
you are trying to get the retail in, I personally think that putting a $10 or $100 in, into a meme coin is less risky than putting 100,000 into a Ethereum. What if it drops from 4,008 to another to 3,000 again? You will be very upset looking at the numbers on a day-to-day basis. So thus I still think that meme coins are the entry points for most of the retail, and it should be done that way. Just like what Pudgy Penguin is trying to do, right? They do a lot of different advertising. They work with the merch companies. They work with shopping malls and so forth. Why are they doing that? To get an additional stream of income, and also to get more retail people to know about the brand, thus supporting the brand by buying the merch or by buying the token to get more exclusive uh I don't know, more exclusive experience, right? So that's how I look at it, man. I might be wrong, but I think it should be quite okay.
I think yeah, your point of view is interesting, but maybe we have to talk about the other side as well, who is saying that the meme coin are actually the gate out for retail, not the gate in. Maybe the gate in and then gate out. Like when they're not experienced in crypto, they're just coming in with $1,000 or something. They gamble once, it's okay. They gamble twice, maybe it's okay, and then they just lose all their money in other gambles and they just go out because of many scams and rug pulls in the meme coin space with millions and millions
Mm.
of tokens. What
Yeah,
what do you think about this?
you see, this is like a casino, right? Right? Do
Yeah.
you do you want to put $1,000 into Ethereum and then hoping that you can get a good return, or you want to get a steady return? You can't
No,
get much return, man, bro. So okay,
no, you
so
can't.
maybe let me put it this way, okay? If today a retail guy has $1,000, how should how should they distribute this $1,000? Right? Should they go in with all memes, or should they go in with all blue chips? Okay, so in my opinion, if this $1,000 is something that they are willing to lose, and they are willing to try, I still think that meme coins are crazier, you know, and meme coins are crazier in returns and also crazier in going to zero. So what is the balance? The balance is you buy the blue chip meme coins, right? You buy a Dodge at 0.14. Will you go to 0.2? Possible, right? So if they are not willing to buy those that are super duper new ones where there's a lot of risk but the return is very high, they should do the Dogecoin, for example. 50% in Dogecoin, 50% in the shitty memes, right? Will that make them rich? Maybe. But if they know what they're in for, they should actually put everything on the shitty ones, because this amount of money is here for gamble. But if you are here to put serious money, very serious money, I still think that you should put in things like Dogecoin, for example. You can easily get retrace back to another 10 to 20% from where it is right now, right? Versus, you look at Ethereum. Sometimes the bus is really too heavy, man. For it to drive another 5, 10, 30% is not easy. So whenever there are any pumps, you will see that like things like Dogecoin will first get the reaction pump, right? They will pump it for 10%, Ethereum will go for 5%, for example. There's always this trend that is in the market. So ask yourself, which one would you want, man? You want to gamble 1,000 possibly to get back 100,000, or 10,000 getting back, I don't know, man, or maybe 1,000 you get back 1,200, right? So it's up to the risk profile, bro. But I agree with you that those people who like memes, they will love it, But those people who lost money, they will say they will put their money only on Ethereum. But then if you are talking about just a small amount, I will still ask them to put on the memes, man. At least you are in the gambling space, why go for something that has a lesser return?
Yeah, the adrenaline is not there. Too
No,
boring.
no. So if you
Tell
come
us,
out with
look,
like big amount is different, right? You come out with 100,000, 200,000. Okay, let's put in Ethereum. You get back a 20%. Okay, that's cool. But if it's just $1,000, you should go to memes, man.
tell us your playbook.
My
I mean,
playbook.
yeah,
Oh,
like the meme coins that everybody knows, it's clear there. But tell us about how do you find memes that nobody knows yet, like for the biggest returns? What's your
I
playbook?
I um. So in the past, even right now, what I usually do is I go for the newer meme coins. To be very honest, things that has a little bit of attraction, and I think both out of 10 that I will buy, I think as long as one hits and one become a big runner, is definitely more rewarding than putting money in stable coin, trying to earn some money, or putting in Ethereum, to earn some money. So what I would usually do, and also with my close community, is that we choose during each quarter, we will choose 10 meme coins that we will buy, right? So there
Mhm.
will be a list, right? So during that like Binance meme season, we choose 10 that we will buy, Then from there, I think one or two become a nice runner that goes above 100 mil. Then I think it's okay, So that is the kind of playbook that we have right now. We choose 10. From there, we hopefully get back two good runners, and then that's it. We do not chase for every of the
Mhm.
hypes. We just choose 10 of them, and then from there we do it together as a community. So I will not put in big amount of money, because I show some of them know my style. They know which wallet I'm using. So everyone will just put the same amount, $1,000, right? If we win, we all win happy. If you lose, we all lose 1,000. That is what we do. This is not about just money making. It's also a form of, it's also an exercise where I do this with a close group of friends. That some of them have been with me for 4 or 5 years. We just play together. Um, that's how we do, my playbook. But sometimes it's not 1,000. Sometimes it's a bit more, a bit more. But the thing is,
You
we
indulge
do it together.
yourselves.
Yeah, yeah, we do it together. So if we lost, we lost. If we set targets, right? So like, let's say for this play, okay, this let's agree, maybe $10,000 is the sweet spot, right? Then everybody go for 10,000, and yeah, the numbers can go up significantly, but we are just very mindful of how this play is, right? Because if you go in early with all these friends of mine, we go in early. To be honest, we can get in we can bag a good amount of supply based on this one small group, So that's how we work, man. But of course, we don't. The cool part about what we are doing is it's a very close group. We do not go out in the market to be the cheerleader and cheer for the token. We let the market decide the direction uh, uh, of where they should go, right? We don't go in and intervene. We don't do any market making and so forth. We are just that particular play is just with a group of retail guys, maybe slightly a bit bigger than the average retail guys. We just go in, we buy, we support, and then we just work the bags in a different manner, Yeah.
And what's the criteria of choosing those 10?
One is why did it get traction? How did it get traction? I think that is actually a very important thing. For example, like in this Binance season, for example, we will see why did that coin catch fire. Is it because CZ posted something, or is it because it's organically driven by a cabal, or from another group, right? So we will choose out of the 10, we will choose 5 that are not maybe 5, like maybe 3 that is more CZ driven, and then another 5 that is more community driven, because all of us, we believe in community, right? If they only have money but they have no community, the price of the token will fall like crazy. Even if they are listed on Binance, it will fall. So this is how we divide them. And then another 2, which is about 20% of them, is actually like some characters that we like. For example, they have like a education meaning to it, or they have some narrative or some sort. That 20% we will go with that. So 30% CZ, 20% something that we like, and then 50% are more community driven, because the fundamentals are usually going back to community. You have people, and you have a cabal, or you have a supply control, or you have money. That kind of project will actually run a lot smoother than pure CTOs, where it's driven by all retail. It's very hard for all retail to work. So for people who likes those CTOs and so forth, there should be a transition, right? In the very beginning, it should be like a cabal play, where supply control is very, very strict. And then once they get successful, yes, they then can pass this to the community and let the community run it. That kind of formula is actually the best. If people likes, if people like the kind of CTO play and so forth, you can see it from like coins like Flocky, for example, right? They go through transitions of leaders. Same for SHIB, they go through a transition of leaders, right? So in order for that kind of projects to come about sustainable, you need to do a lot in the beginning. Make sure that the fundamentals and the foundation is good. Then you pass it on to the CTO. I think that is the best. But right now in the market, it doesn't work this way, man. Right now in the market is the project is going to die, really, really going to die. Then they turn it to CTO, and that is the worst. That is the worst situation, because they have no money, they have no token supply. They maybe have a few hundred good community member active, but trust me, I didn't look at the numbers, but the numbers should be decreasing every single day for all of them, because none of them are motivated, because nothing is motivating them. So in order to have a win-win playbook, in today's market, community is the number one. So whether the community goes to a utility project or memecoin project, it really depends. But usually it should go to a memecoin project, because the kind of upside is a lot higher than what you see in a pure utility driven project, where they actually get income from the swaps only. It's not sexy, man, because users can calculate how much the swap, each swap can cost, and what kind of revenue they can get at the end of the year. And when they look at the projection, it's just this amount. It's not sexy, They must as well buy Ethereum, right? Because it's just this amount. But if they're looking at something that's more crazy with big multipliers, then maybe they look at memes with a big community, and memes with a strong backers. So that's how I see it, man.
Do you see a moment?
Can you
Go
fake a
ahead.
community? A community, the volume, I don't know, the wallets. Of course you can.
I don't. Okay, so the very first thing before we get into the details is, how many real active community members do you have on X, right? So if today the project set up a post, and then you see a few hundred likes, right? And then a few hundred comments. And if you look at the comments, they are healthy. Okay, this is a project that you can consider, right? If it's all bots, for example, it's very easy to see bots, man. After you do the post, like, so you are like a dog project. They will say, "Oh, I love you, dog. Love you, dog. Love, love, love." Then you know it's fake, man. Who the hell would type things like that? Then the next thing you look at all the comments. Most of them, they do not have the blue check mark. Okay, then there's also alarm bell. Then if you look at each of the handle, all those Twitter handle, they have like John 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then all of them are with the kind of running sequence or with numbers behind. 99% of them are fake. What is the possibility of having 100 comments and 90 comments are with Twitter handle with numbers behind? It's not possible, bro. So you will know that it's all fake, right? Because real people will not have this kind of reaction, right? In fact, I just give you another example from a VC point of view. Whether this particular project has real users or not. Do you know what we do, brother? We we will set up a video cam, on specific posts. So let's say this blockchain project, they posted a post, right? We will use the video cam to record every single second. We will keep refreshing to see how the engagement comes in. You just ask yourself, what are the possibility where you can get 1,000 retweets but 0 likes, 1,000 retweets but 0 message? What is the possibility? 0, right? Not possible, right? So we use that kind of model to trace it, and then after that, we will do a correlation whether the people who retweet are actually the people liking it, or whether the people who retweet are the people messaging it. Because if they run a bot service, or if they buy this service from elsewhere, you will not see these coherent figures. Usually a lot of message, no likes. Usually a lot of retweet, but no message. So from a VC standpoint, we use such a primitive, shitty method, to see whether they cheat or they are real or not real, right? So this is how we do it. Coming back to the retail side, for memes, after looking at the activities and engagement on X, we will start to look at the number of wallets. How many of them are buying? How many holders are holding $100 or more, and how many holders are holding 1,000 or more? And how distributed that Memecoin is, in the beginning, right? Because if all of them are just coming in with very low numbers, there's also a possibility that it's all botted. They have all those bots, or are there any huge amount of a supply being sniped by similar people? You can see this on bubble maps sometimes. As long as you have enough people holding bags more than 100, it depends on the project, right? Sometimes out of 1,000, out of 100 wallets, if there are more than half that is putting 100 and above or 1,000 and above, I think this is this is quite a solid project, and if most of them just come in bits and pieces, it's also not bad, but we do not want to see big whales holding on to it, because once he dumped, everything will be wiped out. So there's actually a ratio that we look at, the whale to retail ratio, right? Usually what we prefer is 3:1. So three good retail is to yeah. So the proportion should be 3:1. So that's how we look at it, bro.
So
We
you don't
have
see
a-
memes and dying
please.
anytime soon.
Every day, bro. They are dying every single day. So
Okay.
we
They are like phoenixes.
well, no. Phoenix can still burn for a while. Some of them, they just last for no. So, I told this joke to my friends. For Solana days, I just buy a token. I just go and pee. Yeah, I come back, the token back to 0, bro. To pee time, come back 0. So I think that's why people got to study the mechanics of the token.
Mm-hmm.
How the community is formed will actually determine how long this project can last. I'm not worried if the project goes to zero because a whale sold the bag. I'm not worried. I'm worried that all the small guys, retails, they sell because they have managed to make some profits. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
That is actually a big difference because right now in the current market, why the meme season didn't go as planned is that most people just buy once they see, let's say example, they bought $100, they see the wallet goes to 120, they sell. And a lot of them are with this kind of mindset. That is the biggest reason why the meme season didn't go as far as it can, because all this I call them toilet paper hand. It's not just paper hand, yeah, toilet paper hand. Straight away they sell. So if all these toilet paper guys are still around and they sell because they got the $20, I'm not blaming them. Then that is a very big problem. All the memes will not go up. You need to have a group of people with good conviction to first get into the project, to make sure that, okay, we are not selling, let's work together. That kind of project will last a lot longer than those that are just here for a quick profit.
Okay.
Yeah, our cult, crypto cult. Without a cult, without believing, there is nothing.
it's not it's not easy, brother. It's not easy.
Okay. Yeah. So we're 1 hour into this, and yeah, usually this is where
We
we
didn't
stop.
even talk half topics we
Yeah.
wanted to, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we
Maybe we
can do
can
it
talk
another
more.
time.
Or maybe
No,
like we can take like the last part and talk a little bit about the future as well, not
Yeah.
sure,
only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure. I have
So
time. If you guys have time, we can talk. No problem.
okay. So I just was curious to find out your perspective. You mentioned that you think it's possible or expect like the market to recover, and you believe that we'll have an alt season. Tell us a little bit more about how you see the market in general, if the market structure change, what's yeah, just share your thoughts on this topic.
I think one of the best indicator is you use a Bitcoin as an indicator, right? If
Mhm.
you if why am I still bullish is because when Bitcoin went down, Michael Saylor bought, right? Yeah, yesterday he bought. So as long as Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, and Gang, they are not selling, or they are not
Mhm.
panic, I think the market will still go on. The very fundamental reason, some of them they look at like a 50-day chart, all these things. These are all bullshit, because a lot of this technical analysis will be debunked once Trump say let's go full crypto, right? Let's do fight. The market will just go up, man. So all these things that they are looking at right now, you can use this as a good reference, but it might not be the best. So why I say this is still going to go on is, number one, Sailor and Gang, they're still buying, right? The treasuries, they're still trying to build, right? Second is I think because of how US is like right now, there is a real need to inject some new positive excitement, put in some money into the system. Once positive news like this were to come out, I believe the market will go up, because if they do not do this, then it's very hard for the global economy to sustain this amount of downturn, right? And they will not straight away announce, yes, we are going for a big time recession, right? Step by step, before the super big recession comes in, they need to put in different measures in the fiscal policy to make sure that money can come in, sustain everybody. Let's look at the indicators again. So if we are positive that US and Donald Trump and his team is still going to maintain that kind of peaceful life, then I think cryptocurrency will definitely bounce back. Cryptocurrency will not bounce back if US screwed up this time. Okay, it will never bounce back if they screwed up this time. So I think everybody has a stake. including the US, including the Trump and family. So if they look at this on a longer term basis, longer horizon, 2 to 3 years horizon, then they have to regroup their fiscal policy, inject in new stimulus, and once this happens, the market will go back again. That is my own humble opinion. Of course, if you Google my name on the search engine, they say I'm an economist. No, I'm not economist, man. I'm just a freaking book author, man. But trust me, bro. But trust me, if the treasuries are still buying, US is not giving up, we will definitely see a rebound. But how big the rebound is, it's hard to say. But we will definitely see a rebound.
But to play the devil's advocate here, do you really believe that Michael Saylor has a choice now at this moment?
No. In fact, if you read some of my article, I talk about the MNEF, which is how the treasury ratio is like right now. Actually, it's screwed up. They are not making money. So in order for Saylor, Tom Lee, and everyone else to continue to push, they have to continue to buy right now. They can't give up right now, bro. And the fact is, there are many ways for this company to raise money to buy these assets, and I am very certain some of them are raising money right now to buy them because they are confident and they want to play the market. They are buying them right now.
So what will happen when someone big enough will start to sell? What will happen when Michael Saylor will sell? Because not because he wants to, but because he has to, for example.
Okay, right now the have to situation, I have not seen it yet, to be honest, because if it depends on his average price, right? So put it this way, we don't talk about Saylor because Saylor has been buying. Tom Lee's price should be about 3,000, between 3,006 to 3,008 per Ethereum, right? So he should be more worried than Michael Saylor because Michael Saylor's price is a lot lower, right? So as long as both of them are still in the mode of bullishness on how the fiscal policy is going to change, right? They will continue to buy. So what situation will they sell when there's a super big recession? I think they will sell. Michael Saylor will definitely sell. But some of my friends will say that Michael Saylor will not sell. He has unlimited money. I was like, what do you mean? He has unlimited money. If he has unlimited money, he would have bought everything up. He has limited money. But why he will sell, and why he will be the first one to sell, is because his price is lower. In order to cut loss, lesser profit, he will sell. He will be the first one to sell. Actually, Tom Lee is in the hot seat more than Saylor, because Tom Lee's price is higher, man, bro. And now he's like, if I'm Tom Lee now, I'm like, sweating, man. Right now, but I don't think they are yet because they still have some big war chests. There are people that are supporting
I think
him. So I'm not worried.
It's also important how they finance it, and the way strategy did it. It was really inventive and really cool because they didn't use debt. They issued some like company bonds or something like that, and they're not forced to sell in a way. They don't have this pressure.
Yeah, 100% right, Vic. Because and the other thing is because he started earlier, so there's actually no need for him to force sell at this current moment, right? But but then we have to understand, if the US economy is really going down the hill, he will be the first one to sell because he has the ability to sell, bro. To save the capital. I think that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
No, we need longer sessions, man. Next time we need to have longer sessions so that we can go into the ins and outs of everything. Because when I message you guys as well, I have I'm running spaces. Sometimes I run it for like 14 hours, man. Everybody comes and chime in.
14 hours.
14 hours, man. I did last week itself. I made, I think I had like 3 10 to 15 hours spaces, I'm very very open to it. I invite people who are willing to talk, to give their views, and they ask the question, because to be very honest about this is that there are actually more people who wants to get into the industry but do not understand how the industry work, and they are too shy to ask questions. I tell them, you just come. I have a lot of African friends, coming in to ask questions, trying to find a job. I even told three of them, to I give them the connection to approach a friend of mine to get a job as a community manager. I think it's part and parcel of how we help one another in this space, and how we can spread the knowledge with more people, because really the knowledge level from person A to person B, there's a huge gap. You can't imagine this. Many I put up a post the other day. I saw a lot of my community friends on X. They say, I'm being liquidated, Andy. Please help me. Then I asked them, what do you mean, brother? You buy spot, right? You buy spot. You say, yes, I buy spot, and I'm being liquidated. I say, fuck, bro, you are not liquidated. You're on spot, bro. So the kind of logic and the kind of terms that they use and so forth is actually very wrong. So in order to teach them, share some knowledge with them, they can improve, because after sharing some of these things with them, they will do more research, and then from there they will understand, oh, okay, what is ADL, for example. Because to just give you an example, when there's an ester and hyperliquid war, there are so many people scolding hyperliquid, from the rest of the perps and from ester. They say, not ester, but the community members say, oh, ester, hyperliquid fucked up, they have an ADL, people lost money because ADL. I went in and I told them, bro, Ester has ADL as well, bro. Most of the decks have ADL, and they have a standard formula, on how the ADL kicks in. Like if I didn't go in, they didn't really look into it. They are actually spreading false information, right? And of course they have the clout, they have the attention, but it looks stupid. It looks stupid on them, it's fine, but it looks stupid on the industry. That was the reason why I step in and tell them, hey, dude, ADL works in this manner. All right, Esther has ADL, Solana, they are all those perps decks. They all have ADL because they are perps decks. They have it, and then I show them the formula. I compare the formula with them. It's actually the same. So of course after that they hate me because I corrected them. But my point is I don't need to be the most likable person on X, right? But if you are making us look stupid, as an industry, I have to step in. Same case for the MEXC incident. I stepped in, man. I put my point of view, what I didn't like about how people can fart an exchange, and how the exchange responded to the farts by giving the money back. To me, it's not about the money coming back. Each time there are a lot of false positive, right? Maybe some of the funds are questionable, or the timing of trades are so accurate that it's questionable. But if there are farts, you should actually hold your money tighter than before, and not tell people, oh, you fart me, I'm going to return you the money, right? Because there's always a set of rules, there's a set of compliance that the exchange would need to follow. And the worst part about this incident is they even open up a fast lane channel for all the rest of the people who got their money stuck on the exchange to withdraw it. I mean, come on, man. Some of them, they are stuck there for 1 year. Now, because of this incident, you can withdraw all the money. Shouldn't you go back to the playbook or your SOP? Why in the first place they are stuck? Their money is locked. Then unlock them based on complying to the standard, right? So there's a lot of backlash. I say this openly. A lot of people will start to withdraw, because there's a lack of confidence, right? And making this even worse, the person who funded the exchange, they openly invite him to be an advisor. So you fuck the exchange, get your money back, and you're invited to be an advisor. So I was like, oh, wow, how did this happen, man? So again,
Wrong
none of my
incentives.
precisely, and again, I put in my post very clearly. Number one, none of my fucking business, right? Number two, you can make fun of yourself, but you should not use it in the expense of the whole industry, because how the industry behave would also determine how big the amount of support you get from the institutions, right? And how safe they felt our industry is, right? And how the retail people think about our industry. So if it affects the industry, I will have to say a few words, because not every person on X are giving them the right kind of perspective, because they are just scolding them for the sake of scolding them. But I think it's not about scolding them. It's about the logic behind the actions, and if you do this set of actions, what kind of possible outcomes you get, right? So the outcome is, I don't think the outcome is going to be bad. I mean, don't think it's going to be good, because it doesn't make sense. The wrong kind of incentive is given. It's just strange, man. There's a lot of things that we can talk about actually.
You know, if I remember, if you go back to meme coins, and we're talking about seriousness and how the people outside of crypto see us, don't you think that it's they see us quite funny if we talk about meme coins? Wouldn't it be? I mean, if you go talk to a government or a multi-billion company, you're telling them about Bitcoin, right, or Ethereum, not about a meme coin.
If you go to okay, put it this way. So it depends. I always say this to everybody. It depends on what role you are playing in this industry, right? And who you are talking to. Today, if you go to a government sovereign wealth fund, for example, you tell them, hey, buy the meme coin. There's launched last week. They will give you 2 middle finger and give you that kind of look and say, shit, man, this guy is not reliable, right? They want things that are reliable, because they are using the pension fund, they're using their government sovereign wealth fund. They will look at things that are more blue chip, right? Maybe the top 5 coins in the world. They might add this into their portfolio. But if today you are going to a family office that is a young family office, single family office, especially, and it's taken over by the younger generation, they might want to put a Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and Pepe in their portfolio, because they are more young. They understood the culture, right? But then again, this is a target audience, right? It's a government versus family office. And then when you talk about retail, again, it's all about the upside, right? If you can put $10 right now and suddenly the coin shoot all the way up, that $10 can be $100,000. It's not crazy. It happened before, provided they sell in time. So retail guys who have smaller money are taking this more like a lottery ticket, right? So is this the easiest way for them to come in to understand? It's the easiest, bro. Can they lose $10? Yes. Can they do $100? Yes. Do you know the risk? Yes. Okay, let me try. And the fun part about this retail mindset is, after they try the first time, they fail because they sold too early or they sold too late. If you are a investor and with a gambling mindset, you will try again, because you want to come in to sell at the top. You will try again and again. This is how mentally
Yeah,
people behave.
psychology.
So I hope that answer your question in a little bit. People are gamblers. All of us are gamblers. It's just a matter of how much risk we are willing to take, right? Are you willing to put 100,000 to risk for 10%? I think it's okay. As long as you hold, there's extra money, that's okay. But the smaller retail guys, in order for them to experience it, it should be a low ticket, high reward, and they can take part in the community and have fun. So that is actually one of the crucial thing is have fun, right? You come in from a meme coin, if you are just looking at quick return, you will be so miserable. You should come in to enjoy the journey with the community members. And to be honest, after you enjoy this journey, the gamble mentality will kick in again, because one or two of those guys will buy another meme coin and they start to talk about it, and this always snowballs to more things. That is how retail are driven, right? So if you catch the right kind of mindset, right kind of moment, retail will come back in. Trust me, and it will still be these meme coins, because most of them are looking at the possible returns vs stable return, right? If you want stable return, possibly they can go for like a earn program, because the return is higher than what the bank is giving you. You change to USDT, you put it there, but most people will not be happy with this. So they are more happy if you put 100, it become 1,000. Are you happy? Okay. If I put 100, I lose $80. Am I going to be sad? No. They would think about why they didn't make it. They will try again. That is actually the kind of more positive mentality for the meme coins people, and that's the reason why I hated those people who come in for quick profits, for 20 cents profit or 30 cents profit. Those are not investors, and those are the people who actually complains the most and lose the most, because they have no conviction on anything, right? Come for the community, not for the money. Because if you have community, money will come. It's just a matter of time, or whether if it's this project or the next project. So stick with a community that can drive that kind of positive energy, and also stick with the community that can give you the most heartwarming family feel, so that you can stay in the space for a longer time. And everybody's a psychologist, man, or some mental support agent, So your backs are down. Your community member will tell you, "Hey, don't worry, man. My back is more down, bro." That's how everybody keeps everybody happy. And I think it's a fair comment, I think.
Okay, so you're really into memes, man.
I'm not. I'm actually more into communities. So
Community, yeah,
that
makes
was
sense.
that is the reason why I always want to put on a more positive angle for memes, because I treasure communities more than talking to the big shots, right? It's useless, man. I have all the capability to just talk to the big account, and only talk to the big account, and I don't give a fuck about all the retail guys. But I felt that there is no voice for the retail guys, and I'm not really here just to squeeze people's money, right? So I want to provide the best kind of knowledge, for the retail guys, so that they can grow, and they can believe in something, and work on something, right? That is my only objective right now. Why I open 14-hour spaces, why I talk to new people, why I talk to new chains and so forth, is a process of getting the community ready for the next big thing, right? Maybe there's another big meme, big IP coming in. Everybody can be successful and play together, right? So simple process, trying to share more knowledge, and community is the only way, brother.
This sounds like a good ending to this conversation.
Yeah, to be continued.
Okay.
Yes, we should talk more.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you.
for the 1 hour, man, brother. I hope we can
Sure.
get more view. I think we can get. We have 5,000 over viewers. Is that okay right now?
Yeah, we have 5,150.
Is it
Cool.
okay? I hope
Yeah,
this can be. I hope we can get more next time.
sure.
Yeah,
Let's schedule
let's
the
aim
next
for
time.
more.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dante.
bro.
Have a
Thanks.
great
Thank
day,
you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.